Published 6:34 Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of January 2018. Updated 7:37 Eastern Standard Time, the 23rd of January 2018. Manchester City will aim to reach their first final of the Pep Guardiola era on Tuesday night when they play Bristol City in the second leg of their Carabao Cup semi-final. The Premier League leaders take a 2-1 advantage down to Ashton Gate, but they required an injury-time winner from Sergio Aguero in the first match after Kevin De Bruyne cancelled out Bobby Reed's penalty kick opener. Lee Johnson's City have struggled in the Championship of late, though they remain fifth in the table and in the race for promotion either automatically or via the playoffs. But this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for the Robins to make a Wembley EFL Cup final, and they will certainly be giving everything, backed by a passionate crowd. Sportsmail takes a look at some of the key questions ahead of the second leg. There were contrasting emotions a fortnight ago as Sergio Aguero scored a last-minute winner for Manchester City in the first leg of their Carabao Cup semi-final with Bristol City. Aguero's header gave the Premier League leaders a slender lead heading to Ashton Gate. Bristol City manager Lee Johnson applauds the near -8,000 travelling fans at the Etihad. Guardiola is obviously very keen to make it through to a first final in charge of City, but is also conscious of placing too much pressure on a squad that is competing on four fronts this season. The City manager did hint at changes for Tuesday night's game, and he has a delicate balance to strike between fielding a team strong enough to avoid an upset without tiring his key players. Some changes will be enforced. Fabian Delph will miss the match with a knee problem, meaning that either youngster Alexander Zinchenko or Danilo will slot in at left back. Captain Vincent Kompany remains a doubt with a calf injury, while striker Gabriel Jesus, knee, midfielder Phil Foden, ankle, and defender Benjamin Mendy, knee, are definitely out. Other than that, we can expect a pretty strong City team with Aguero, Leroy Sane and Bernardo Silva the forward three, with Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan and Fernandinho in midfield. Claudio Bravo is City's cup goalkeeper ahead of Ederson, and the back four could be Zinchenko on the left, Danilo on the right, and Eliakim Mangala and John Stones in the centre. But let's be honest, whichever side Guardiola decides to pick, City will start as the heavy favourites. Alexander Zinchenko could be in line for another appearance in the absence of Fabian Delph. Manchester City manager Pep Guardiola will make changes amid a busy schedule for his team backed by 7,680 members of the Cider Army. Bristol City gave a terrific account of themselves at the Etihad Stadium a fortnight ago and were only beaten in the dying seconds. Contrary to most people's expectations, the Championship side took on Man City without any fear and rejected the overtly defensive approach adopted by many opponents this season. Instead of sitting back and parking the bus, Johnson favoured some high-risk, attacking play, and the visitors actually managed to create a number of decent chances prior to taking the lead from the penalty spot. Their combination of courage and tactical initiative almost pulled off a famous win, Johnson's side coming closer to victory over City than the majority of Premier League teams this season. Eventually, the SEOCND half-pressure told, but Bristol City gained their away goal, even though it won't count until after extra time. Bobby Reed celebrates after converting from the penalty spot to give Bristol City the lead. Raheem Sterling is denied by the Bristol City goalkeeper Frank Fiedling in the first leg, with Guardiola set to put out a similar team selection for the second leg. The need to go out and score at least one goal on the night, and home advantage. Johnson will surely adopt a similarly bold approach. The expectation is that Man City will progress, piling all the pressure on them, so if Bristol can find the right combination of energy, aggression and attacking threat, they could well pull it off. Following that defeat to Liverpool, City don't quite seem as invincible as they did a few weeks ago. Johnson will feel the chance to make history is there for the taking. They will also derive confidence from their 2-1 win over Man United in the last round, which was a superb performance. "It's good to be mixing in these circles," said Johnson. "It only makes the desire to get to the Premier League even stronger. We had more shots, 8, and more possession, 68%, at the Etihad than any other Premier League team so far. Beating City would rank as one of the best results in our history. The players would go down in folklore." Sergio Aguero celebrates with Bernardo Silva and Kyle Walker after scoring his late winner. "To be honest, this semi-final has been a distraction for Bristol City as their Championship form has fallen off a cliff since that win over Man United. They have won just one of their 6 matches since that famous night, losing 3, and it stunted their hopes of taking the second automatic promotion place. They have also crashed out of the FA Cup in that time, losing 3-0 at Watford. There was some respite from the recent run of defeats last Friday night when they held fellow promotion chasers Derby to a goalless draw away from home, but their form is far from ideal. Bristol City's Marlon Pack, left, and Jorge Magnusson, right, in action against Derby. Bristol City are currently 5th in the championship table despite a recent collapse in form Manchester City may have lost in the dramatic match at Anfield, but otherwise their form has been superb as they continue their match towards the Premier League trophy and potentially a few others as well. They beat Newcastle 3-1 on Saturday to suggest that loss was just an off day, and they still have a 12-point lead over Man United at the top of the table. Sergio Aguero celebrates completing his hat-trick with Fernandinho against Newcastle. United. City's 3-1 win on Saturday maintained their 12-point lead at the top of the Premier League. Manchester City have a 12 points advantage over Manchester United in the Premier League Championship fixtures unless state. December 30 Wolves, H 1-2 January 1st Aston Villa, A 0-5 January 6 Watford, A 0-3 FA Cup January 9 Man City, A 1-2 EFL Cup January 13 Norwich, H 0-1 January 19 Derby, A 0-0 Premier League unless state. December 31 Crystal Palace, A 0-0 January 2 Watford, H 3-1 January 6 Burnley, H 4-1 FA Cup January 9 Bristol City, H 2-1 EFL Cup January 14 Liverpool, A 3-4 January 20 Newcastle, H 3-1. He scored from the spot in the first leg, so Guardiola and his players will all know about the danger posed by Reed, who is the championship side's leading scorer this season with 14 in all competitions. Reed is likely to be the spearhead of a 4-4-1-1 formation, with Jamie Patterson, who has scored 6 goals and created another 7 this season, playing in behind him. The home side will hope to get a grip on the midfield battle with Marlon Pack and Corey Smith in the engine room. Pack is a yellow card away from missing the final, should they make it. Jamie Patterson on the ball during last Friday's night's goalless draw away to Derby County. City midfielder Corey Smith, pictured during the championship fixture at the Ipro Stadium. Energy on the flanks will likely be supplied by Joe Bryan on the left and Josh Brownhill on the right, while City's back line will need to be as formidable as they have ever been. Aidan Flint and Nathan Baker have been rock-solid in central defence, though Baker faces a late fitness check on an ankle injury. Flint is also a threat in the opposition penalty area from set pieces. Iceland international Jorge Magnusson is likely to be at left-back, with Bailey Wright on the other side, while Luke Steele will be in goal given doubts over Frank Fielding's fitness. City defender Aidan Flint clears the ball off the line to ensure a point at Derby on Friday. There will be a fantastic atmosphere at Ashton Gate for one of the biggest matches in the history. City haven't reached a major cup final since 1909. The ground will be full to its capacity of 27,000, with the club handing out 22,000 red foil flags to fans, who are encouraged to get into the ground early to help build the atmosphere. The passion of the Bristol City fans can't be doubted, and Section 82, the most vocal of the Ashton Gate fans, will be in full pride come kick-off. It promises to be a superb occasion.